So I've been doing dropshipping since 2018, and if you actually go to my YouTube channel, you'll see that I've been making content ever since in like 2017, 2018, where I actually started getting probably like decent results with dropshipping. And I've been doing this full time literally for the past 6 to 7 years, and I'll tell you that I've seen a lot of different strategies, and I've seen what actually works and what tend to not work, especially for beginners. And if you actually look at different content online, I noticed that a lot of these like gurus, they are sharing with you strategies that I know is just not gonna be practical for beginners, because most of you guys know you don't have the practical resources, and you don't have like the big budget to get started with like some of these strategies that people are sharing, such as like starting a brand or using like Google Ads to build a store. Like literally, starting on Google for like beginners is like 98% of you guys are just not even gonna be able to get approved. And for this video, I'm gonna share with you like the I would say like one of the fastest way that you can actually get from 0 to 1k per day. And don't even say like 1k per day, just like maybe making your first $100 per day, or making your first few sales if like a beginner in dropshipping. And over the last like 7-8 months, I've done over like 714k euros, which is about 818k. And if you can see, the custom range it is showing from 1st August to like March 15, however long that is. So this strategy I've been doing consistently like 100k a month for the past 7-8 months. And also I have a Discord channel called Ecom Revolution, which you can join if you want to learn about fashion dropshipping. And in there, we have like different students that are crushing it. For example, Dante Walker, which is DWC 2016. He started doing dropshipping again literally like last month, and then right now he's like literally spending like $150 per day, making back 620. I'm telling you that this guy is like, he probably made like a few grand like last month. And then we also have like Melvi over here. He made like 7 to 8k last month. He actually started dropshipping with our strategy since November. So I'm telling you that this shit works. And I'm gonna share a few the different myths that beginner often the different like belief systems that beginners often carry around dropshipping. We're gonna be dispelling those myths, and we're gonna be getting into how this strategy actually works. So the first belief system that beginners tend to have when it comes to dropshipping is they think that they need to find like a really, 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 really innovative product that no one else is selling in order to make some money. I'm telling you that this is 100% not true, alright? So I'm just gonna create a bot over here, and I'm just gonna call this M1, which is myth number 1. Saturated product doesn't work. Okay. So this is like not true, because the thing is, right, if you are dropshipping, there are like typically like a few ways to go about it. First way is you find something really innovative, and then you try to scale it. That works, but honestly, like that is really advanced, because you need to have a really solid marketing experience. You gotta understand your market, you gotta understand the product you're selling. And the second strategy, which is what we actually teach, is instead of like focusing on those crazy innovative products, you find products that have already been validated to work. And instead of actually I'm just writing here, right, find validated products. And instead of focusing like say like scaling one product to 10k per day, what you can do is you can actually stack 10 winners, 20 products, and you, instead of like scaling it to like really high amount, focus on scaling horizontally with each product at maybe just like, for example, 200 per day. So what you see, with the way that I actually do it, instead of like focusing on one winner, we may have like I would say like maybe like 20 winners across 15 stores, for example. And because we have so many different small winners, right? They are not making big numbers. We are still able to do like maybe anywhere from like, say for example, like 5k per day, very, 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 very consistently. So you see, there are like many ways to do dropshipping, and with this strategy, right, what I really, really like about it is the consistency that it actually gives us, right? Because the thing about having just depending on business on just a one big product is many times, right, when that one big product dies out, you're gonna lose all your goddamn revenue, right? All your revenue is gonna die if you just base it off like one product. But the thing is, because we are able, with our strategy, we are able to always find new I feel so goofy using this smart pot, to be honest. New winners, W stands for winners. We're able to find like new winners like literally every 3 to 4 days. And because of that, we're able to maintain 5K per day in revenue using by focusing on scaling horizontally, constantly finding new small winners and stacking up those small winners. So this is how we actually do it. So the second myth that beginners often, tend to actually that actually cause people to not want to start dropshipping is they think that, you know, you need like a extremely crazy, branded looking store. And I recently, I've been seeing this concept of like branded drop shipping, which is a really good idea because you are taking a product, you're finding new angles for it, you're finding like new creatives, and you're able to make it work. But the thing is, you don't actually really need to have like a really insane website, a really insane ad to be basically, printing, to be making money, right? And with our strategy, instead of like making our store look extremely perfect, what we are instead focusing on is just making it look um making it look oops, just gonna have to erase this. Making it look simple plus trustworthy, right? So we're just focusing on just having like having look like a simple website and having look like a trustworthy website. You can be making sales, and this is what I noticed. A lot of beginners tend to kind of be stuck around. They think that they need to have like a really crazy looking website, which is really not true. Because I'm gonna share with you an example right now how these different dropshipping websites, they are not even that crazy, but they are literally scaling like doing 50 to 100K a month. So I kid you not, right? Right now, my websites, they literally can be built in 45 minutes because I have the templates and I just literally copy and paste. It's like so easy. And the website don't do impressive at all, to be very honest. And it's because of this simple fact, it's really easy for beginners to actually get started with this strategy. And I'll be wondering like, yo, Gary, you shared a whole bunch of nothing. How does this actually work? You're like very graduate, like, okay, this is cool, but how does it work? So I'm going to share with you an example right now of this particular store that is kind of like using our strategy, but not quite exactly. Actually, I'll go to a different one because they have many different pages, right? These guys, they're actually scaling really hard right now. So the way that we actually do our business is we focus on fashion. We focus on fashion, selling in countries that are untapped, selling on predominantly on Facebook. Okay, so for example, right now these websites, right? These guys, they have like a bunch of different advertisement. You can see, they're selling like this like really simple polo tee. They managed to scale this particular ad to about 12K in ad spend. And if we actually go to their website, it is a very it's actually a really nice website, to be honest. It's very simple and it looks trustworthy. There's really nothing crazy about it. Besides this one, honestly, it's all just like AI images. You can like pretty much use AI to create like a bunch of these. But these guys, they are like drop shipping, and what I really like about these websites, they kept it really simple and really brandable. And to be honest, like anyone can make anything, can make something like this. All you have to literally do is just create a Shopify store and then try to model after this website, right? Okay, actually that sounds simple, easier said than done. So if you guys want to actually learn how we can actually build this kind of websites, and you want to learn about the get in depth into how we actually do things, everything is taught in our ecom revolution. But actually, I just want to show you guys more source. Okay, so basically these guys, you can see, with fashion, you don't really need crazy videos, right? For example, like this particular ad, they've been running since 16 December. It's just like a very simple click ad of like 4 different variants in like one image. Then they have this carousel ad, they have this simple image ad, which has like some words on it. And they're also selling these different shoes, these numbers, words, blah, blah. So you can see the advertisements are really simple, which is why I really like selling fashion. Because with fashion, you don't really need to have like a very complex looking website. Don't need to have really complex creatives. It's really easy for beginners to get started. You can literally just take something, and all these images, honestly, you can like find it from AliExpress. A lot of them, to be honest, you can even use what a competitor is using, but that's like not really recommended. But I mean, like that's what everyone does, to be honest. Yeah. Okay. So right now you probably have like very basic idea of what we are actually doing, which is we are selling fashion. Fashion. I'm just gonna call it FA. Selling fashion on Facebook. I'm gonna call it FB in unsaturated market, right? So I'm just gonna call it SA, which is unsaturated, maybe USA. Okay, that's kind of weird. I'm just gonna call it U US unsaturated, right? So if focusing on selling fashion, selling on Facebook with unsaturated markets. So basically, instead of like say for example selling in like the United States, you can look into countries like EU, even like South America. To be honest, South America has been working really, really well for me. Even in Asia as well. It sounds crazy, but no one is selling Asia. But you can basically take all these like different products that competitors are selling and literally use the same kind of images. And these kind of images, they are so easy to make. It's literally using Canva. And if you don't want to like basically like copy the images, what you can do is even you can go and download the image, paste it in ChatGPT and ask them to remake something similar because you know that it is already working for them. And basically what you want to do is just, take whatever is working for them and you arbitrage, right? You sell it in a different country which no one else is selling in. Because all these guys, maybe they are selling in, for example, this website, they are mainly selling in the English speaking countries and also in the European countries. They are selling kind of like worldwide. Instead of that, what you want to do is you want to focus on selling in just one market at a time. I'm just gonna erase this real quick. You want to focus on just one country at a time, and you want to basically localize your website, right? So you want to focus on one country at a time, localizing your website, which means that, for example, these guys, they're crushing it. Instead of like selling on whatever they're selling in whatever country they're selling in, take this idea, and then what you can do is, for example, you can take the same idea and you can sell it in Japan, right? How many dropshippers have you heard that is selling in Japan? And I'm telling you right now, this is a market that I'm actually doing quite well in, for example. And this is a market that my friend has scaled to like 10 to even 20K a day in Japan. So this is like pretty much what you can do, right? Arbitrage. And this is how the strategy actually works. So right now you may be wondering, okay, this all sounds nice, but how do I actually find products to sell? So this is actually really, really, really easy. Probably one of the easiest part of strategy. So the way that we are doing our product research is we are doing product research in the EU countries. And remember, we can also sell in EU, but you can also take these products and you can sell it in a different market where there's like no competition. For example, one of the best markets to do a product research is in Germany because there's so many different competitors selling. You can find like so many different ads to like basically model after of different products to find. And then I'm gonna use a search term called Kleid, which means dress. And you can literally use like so many different search terms, such as Amsterdam, such as Amsterdam is in Netherlands, such as like Berlin, such as like free shipping in the local language, in like clearance sale in the local language, sale in the local language, or jacket in the local language. Basically, you just wanna translate it to German because people who are selling in Germany more than likely are gonna have their website in German because it makes sense, right? Your competitors, they are not so stupid. So right now, just like that, just like that, where was the guy? Yeah, we already found like literally my Chrome extension just stopped working. But yeah, we already found like one. Okay, it's back right now. We already found like one competitor called a Still Moment, and you can see using this tool called Ad Library Cloud, which you can download. It's like a free Chrome extension. You're able to see like how much money they've been spending in their ads, and you can literally just take whatever product they are selling really well for them and sell the same product and maybe make like a better ad, or even using the same ad if it's like an ad that is provided by the Chinese supplier that everyone is using. I think it's fine to use it. But literally just that you can find like so many different products to sell, and then you can take those products and then you can launch it in a different market. And sometimes even like selling in the same market works, just because remember, right, we are not focusing on scaling one product, right? We are not focusing on scaling one winner. Wrong. What we are trying to do is we are trying to stack a bunch of winners into a store. We are trying to find like 20 winning products, and you may think like, wow, there's a lot of winning products, how is that even possible? And later when we get into the Facebook ad strategy, it all will make sense. You realize that, oh wow, this is actually much simpler and much more easier than I thought. So what you're really trying to do is you're trying to find 20 winners, each making like, say for example, $100 per day. Boom, $100 per day, 20 winners. How much is that? That is 2K. Excuse my terrible drawing. Art has never been my strength. But just like that, you're finding 20 small winners, $100 per day. that's equal to 2K per day, which is why you don't really have to stress too much about product research, because you're just taking whatever has been already been mildly validated by a competitor, looking at how much money they spend their ad, and seeing like whichever ones that are doing the best for them, and just taking the same exact idea, and there you go. So right now we are inside my ad account for one of the stores that we are running using this strategy. And how it works is basically, every single day, you want to be launching new advertisements and new products, because remember, it's a volume-based approach. And right now, I actually want to show you, right? For example, in the month of September in 2025, you can see, we have a bunch of ads, right? A bunch of products that we're selling. The top ad, we only spent about 2.2K. Second one, 1.8K, 1.8K, 1.8K. And overall, you can see like the ROAS is pretty good. It's like above 2.5, 3. And because you see like all of these different advertisements, they are mostly from like different products. And this is just proof that this strategy works, and that you don't really need to have like one big winning product to get to like say like 100K a month, even like 200K a month, 300K a month. Instead, with like our fashion approach using this strategy, you can have like a bunch of winners, and you are not so stressed because it's so easy to find products that maybe you can't scale it to like like 1K per day with one product, but you can scale this one product to like $200 a day, $300 per day. And the thing is, they're so easy to find. It's so easy to find these winners using this Facebook ads and strategy. So we can see, a bunch of different ads. Yeah, most of them, they are profitable. The ROAS is like really high. And you can see for the month of September, for the whole month, we spent 27K. We had a 2.5 in return. We made back about, I think it was around like 70K that month, because Facebook tend to underreport. So we profited around, I think, like 18K or like 19K in the month of September on this like one store, using this strategy and not focusing on one product, but instead focusing on having a bunch of products selling in fashion. So how we can actually do it on Facebook, right? So what you want to do is, you want to focus on just one market, like we were mentioning earlier, right? One market starting at $50 per day, right? And every single day, you're gonna launch at least 15 to 30 new ads. Okay. Excuse my horrendous drawing, by the way. I'm so bad in this. So you want to be launching 50, 30 new ads every single day, $50 per day, and you're just basically trusting the algorithm and telling like Meta or Facebook, hey, you know what? These are the ads. And spend on whichever ad you think is most likely to work, because the algorithm has so much data, right? Meta is so smart, and you just have to basically trust it. And over time, if you keep adding new ads, you're gonna find that the algorithm sort of kind of like gets smarter, and it gets to a point where it knows which advertisement is more likely to work than others, right? So because of this, not every single advertisement is gonna spend. For example, if you add in like 30 ads, right? I'm just gonna like briefly erase this. If we add in like 30 ads, maybe it's only gonna spend on like 2 or 3 ads, right? Because it thinks that these 2 or 3 ads are the winners. And not every single time is a winner, of course. Sometimes it's just like a fluke. But other times, these 2 to 3 ads turn out to be the best performing ad. And then that's when we can gonna erase this again. And then once your ads are profitable, then you start to scale. Okay, $50 per day, scale the campaign to $100 per day, and then you just basically keep doing the same thing. $100 per day, profitable, $200 per day, right? And basically, like every 48 hours, you want to be increasing your budget. And through this strategy, you can scale one campaign to like 1K, 2K, even like 3K per day. Yeah, if you're selling the right market, and if the market has enough momentum. So this is like a very brief overview of how the strategy works. And if you want to actually learn more, and if you're interested in like really going in depth, we have a paid community, and inside this paid community, you're gonna get like a bunch of value. We have like a course where we actually show you with over like 40 videos explaining like how this strategy actually works. We have like literally every single thing. So this course is really designed for beginners who to have very little experience with dropshipping, because we teach you how to find your products, we teach you how to actually start a store, how to do the product research, how to launch meta ads, how to basically set up your email marketing, everything on the back end. And we also do like weekly group calls, and for the price that you are paying for, it's honestly it's really, really low. For the value that we're giving, it's just like ridiculous. So if you guys want to learn, link is in the description box below. Just click on it, go into the sales page and see what it's about, and maybe you'll like it and you'll join us. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button if you like to learn about e-commerce and dropshipping, and I'll see you in the next one.